Okay, I'm sorry. I could not figure out. That's really bright. I could not figure my computer was fine. Internet connection is fine. Everything is fine, but it just people were telling me I was frozen, and all of a sudden my face was gone off my laptop. So I opened up my phone, and we're gonna do it this way because I'm gonna get this live video done. I am persistent, and it will get done. So I'm gonna just give it a second to see if people figure out to go on my channel and click on this live video, or hopefully YouTube gives you a notification. I have no idea what happened. My laptop is fine, the internet connection is fine. It just stopped. And my cat is chasing a fly around the room. Hey, Christy. Christy said, welcome back. Thank you. I am back. I'm actually going to be kind of reading something that I wrote about what I would like to say first. Good morning. Yeah, she said, let's try number 2. Yes, tech today. Good. Christy said she got a notification. Thank you, YouTube. If you're not going to do it right on the laptop, the least you could do is give people a notification. So I'm going to be, hey Barbara, I'm going to be reading a little bit anyway, just getting some thoughts out there before I make the big announcement anyway. So you're not missing anything if you tune in a few minutes late, especially if you've been a customer of mine for a long time. I'm going to be talking about some of the things in the past. So anyway, so let's start this fresh. Let's take a deep breath. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are when you're watching this live video. My name is Melissa, and I'm the digitizer behind designsbylittleB.com. There are a whole lot of customers who will watch this video who remember DLB from the basement. For those of you who were not in the first few, I'd say 3,000 members of my Facebook group, when I first needed a separate space for digitizing, the only space that was available in that house that I lived in at the time was the basement. Excuse me. So a basement sounds underground enough, but then you also have to consider that the owners of that house, good morning from New Mexico. You also have to consider that the owners of that house let their kids use that basement room that I was in as a kind of video game room or movie room. And hang on one second. There we go. And they had painted the ceiling tiles of that basement room black to make for a cooler video game and movie watching experience, which would have been really cool if that's what we were using it for. I was using it as an office, so it was dark. And when you click off of this video, I highly recommend that you go scroll all the way down and look at some of my older videos from the basement, because it is dark. And also I had brown hair, and most of the time I had bangs, which was really funny to look back on. So my digitizing journey started out for fun. I won't lie, I did dream of selling my designs one day, and I had a great admiration for women in this industry who financially contributed to their families in significant ways through digitizing. At the time that I purchased Stitch Artist software, I had a 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I was a stay-at-home mom with a working spouse. I had no pressure to sell, nor did I have the desire to be the breadwinner of the family, none of that. And when I sat in bed one night with my laptop trying to come up with a name for my digitizing, just so I would have something out there in the future, I just picked something, first of all, that had to do with bees, because my name means, the origin of my name is Greek, and it means honeybee. Hey Nancy, I'm glad you found me again. So it had something to do with bees, and then I just started thinking of designs and bees and embroidery, and I was looking for something that was available on Gmail, so I could have an email address, on Etsy, and a domain on the web. So that's where Designs by Little B came from. To the best of my recollection, over the next few months, I put very few basic designs on Etsy, like a football key fob, I remember I had a set of applique numbers that were very basic and generic. It was just a fun creative outlet for me. If somebody bought a design from me, great. I heard the little cha-ching on my phone. Glad you found me again, Patty. Um, so my digitizing MO has always been that I digitize things that I like. I found that I really enjoyed in the hoop embroidery. I liked the challenge of it. I liked the puzzle of figuring out how to make a freestanding thing out of raw materials. And so digitizing key fobs was kind of right up my alley. So in the spring of 2015, I found a website called Jane, which was a deals website for fashion and accessories. And as an aside, I just looked up Jane yesterday when I was thinking about this video, and it shut down apparently a few months ago, or like 6 or 8 months ago in November, just suddenly. Um, so anyway, around that time, mason jars were huge, and personalization and monograms were skyrocketing in popularity. So this was right before and around the time when SVGs, Cricut, Scan and Cut, HTV, all that stuff were becoming affordable and available to the home crafter. I had made myself a mason jar key fob using seersucker, felt, faux leather, and a piece of ribbon. And after I looked on Jane for a while, it occurred to me that like I could offer a deal of my own on these key fobs, and I could personalize them. So I applied to the website, they accepted my deal, and within a week, I had stitched several hundred key fobs with personalized monograms. I stitched them 8 at a time in my 8x12 hoop on my PR655. And I actually found a picture of this endeavor, which this is, I don't think I've shared this ever in my Facebook group or my YouTube channel or anything like that. This is a picture that I printed out of one of the piles of key fobs that I made for that Jane deal. I allowed them to give me their initials to personalize it, and they are made with seersucker and vinyl. So they were kind of a raw edge or raggy edge finish. I kind of wonder if anybody still has theirs from 9 years ago. So in short order, a gal named Brittany, who I recognized from embroidery Facebook groups, posted a screenshot of that Jane deal and said, does anybody know where this design is from? I can't find it anywhere. And one of my friends called me or texted me, it might have been my friend Amber, I'm not sure, to tell me that I was going viral in Facebook groups. So with a toddler and a smaller toddler on my hip, I literally single-handedly found the post and cruised the comments and made a decision that I really need to jump on this and order this design for sale. So I cleaned it up, saved it in the formats, listed it on Etsy, and within 48 hours, I had made enough off the sale of that one key fob design to pay for a cart of groceries for my family, in back then money. I knew I was onto something. So I spent that summer honing my craft and exploring different in the hoop projects. I created a Facebook group. I took dozens, maybe even hundreds of requests from customers. Pretty much in those days, if you asked me to do it, I would do it. And I stocked my Etsy shop with projects that people wanted to buy. When I woke up before my family, I was digitizing. When my kids were napping, I was digitizing. It was a nice little side hustle for a stay-at-home mom. It was still a great creative outlet. It didn't feel like work. It felt like fun, and it gave me the freedom to work when I could. And that was a kind of business that I had never owned before. I've worked for myself for probably 20 years. My famous story about when I moved to Nashville, I cleaned houses. But I'd never been able to use my creativity to make money. And so that was really exciting for me. So in 2016, my then husband had a major health crisis. And within a period of like a few weeks or a month, it became obvious that this hobby of digitizing needed to pay our bills. A couple of friends helped me bridge the gap of immediate financial needs over like a couple of weeks. But I had a very little time to put wings on Designs by Little B to see if it would pay the bills. So I see Eve. Hi. So I was, of course, prepared to work outside the home if I had to, but I really wanted to give this creative outlet a shot at providing for my family before I went out and got, a 9-to-5 or a regular job. Now, as an aside, Of all of my faults, work ethic has never been a problem for me. I've always worked. If digitizing hadn't worked out for me, I would have gladly gone and gotten a 9 to 5 job or worked wherever I needed to make money. I always do my best to pay my own way. I'm not above any line of work that puts food on the table for my family. And I feel that way about everybody who does a job. If you're doing a job and you're doing an honest day's work, you have my full respect. So anyway, I just wanted to see if this hobby could be a business for me. So with a 5 and a 3 year old underfoot, I managed to bulk up the Etsy shop and put my face and my name out there in Facebook groups during their real heyday to pay the bills for the summer. And then it paid the bills for the fall. And with the help of an in-law who lived with us, we paid all of our bills that year. We wanted for nothing that year. I was lucky, I worked hard, and I grew Designs by Little B at a pivotal time in the machine embroidery world, in my opinion, where digitizing talent was really a standout in those groups. And it got you very far if you had the time and energy to put the work in. So in 2017, I continued to grow Designs by Little B, and it provided for our family in such a way that my spouse didn't have to go to work after he recovered from his illness. I networked a lot. I even was able to hire an assistant to help me with emails and marketing, and then I taught her to digitize as best I could, and she helped me with digitizing. So 2018 marked the hand sanitizer era. We were in our clean hands era. And after I got the measurements right on my own sanitizer design, it was off to the races producing custom shaped hand sanitizer designs. I always say, of course, I wasn't the first digitizer to produce a hand sanitizer key fob, but I believe that the creative shapes that I digitized were unique and hit at just the right time to boost my business and allow me the ability to explore even more in the hoop projects, which customers purchased by the cartful. I think 2018 was also the first year that I did my birthday sale and the Black Friday sale. In 2018, my then husband, my spouse at the time, did not work outside the home. I was able to pay for my first trip overseas, albeit a really fast one because we had small kids, to Paris with him. I also sent him to Ireland for 10 days to play an amateur sport that he really loved at the time. So business was good. I got a lot of tattoos. That's where all my well, you can't see them now, but 2018 was really the year when I got to express myself and my creativity, and I was the breadwinner, and I felt a lot of passion for that. And I started dyeing my hair purple, and I maintained that throughout the year. I worked hard. I released as many as 100 designs a month, and I enjoyed the fruits of that labor. So then we moved to 2019. It was a difficult year for me personally. I struggled, just personally in my personal life, I struggled a little bit. And then 2020, I separated from my husband in the summer of 2020, but the work that I had put into Designs by Little B over the years came in clutch during that summer and over the next year or so. That digital work that I put in carried me through in difficult times in my personal life, and I am so grateful for that. I went from a very large house to a very small apartment. I came out as gay to friends and loved ones. I navigated custody and not having my kids around all the time like I had for 7 or 8 years. I was single for the first time in over a decade. But even as my personal life went through these changes, Designs by Little B was always there. It was always steady. I could count on the business relationships, the networking, and the friendships that I'd made in this business over the 5 previous years. So the last 4 years, I don't think really need their own blurb. I can sum them up pretty quick. I turned 40. I filed for and finalized a divorce. I began a new relationship. I moved from a tiny apartment into a house that had a bedroom for each of my boys, which was very important for me. There have been a lot of positive changes that have happened in my life, and honestly, saying them out loud now makes me feel really appreciative. But one thing that has not improved or has not become more positive or rewarding is my career as a digitizer. I think this is because I never really sat down and made the decision to digitize as a career. One day it was a hobby, and one day I needed money to pay the bills. My cat is still chasing the same fly. Let me get her just a second. Annabelle, no, we're not chasing the fly. We're going away. Goodbye. Thank you. Bye now. Okay. Sorry. She's back already. Who cares? Just don't listen. So my career as a digitizer, I never sat down and made a business plan. I never thought about, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make X amount of money and this is, the hours that I'm going to do it. And as 2019 and 20 happened, I was digitizing like 50 or 60 hours a week. I was working. I was digitizing, I was stitching, I was taking sample pictures. I was still stitching for friends and family. I mean, I was just working all the time. I never said, hey, Marissa, happy Monday. I never sat down and said, well, this is how I'm going to do it. This is the plan of how I'm going to be an entrepreneur. So while I still absolutely love to digitize, embroider, and immerse myself in Facebook groups and YouTube videos and tutorials, I have to be completely honest when I tell you that I've got to get this cat on here. Hey, babe, could you get Annabelle? Oh, okay. She caught the fly and she ate it. Jeez, this is really a pivotal, this is really a moment I don't want to be distracted. I still absolutely love to digitize, but I have to be completely honest and look right in the camera and make eye contact with you and tell you that I am lonely. I'm lonely and I don't like sitting in front of a computer screen 50 hours a week. She found it and she ate it. I've worked at a computer every day, darn near every day, for the past just over 8 years. And last year I got a shed that I moved all my stuff out into, and that's great. I mean, not having the cats around all the time, hello, you're seeing it in this video. Not having my kids yelling at me or making noise in the background and all that jazz has been great. However, I'm even more isolated. And when you work 10 hours a day and you're out in your own space and there's nobody around, it feels lonely. It really does. And despite the support and encouragement that I find on social media, I still miss being around people and not looking into a camera and talking. And I feel a shift happening, and I want to ride with it. I want to go with it. I don't want to resist it. I feel a shift happening in our world in general, in our country, in our industry, and in smaller factions of our industry, like the in the hoop little niche, and the people who like quilting and stuff. And that shift that I feel is camaraderie and in-person interaction. And although I've developed quite an anxiety around being out in public and being around other people, I want to embrace this, and I want to break out of my comfort zone and ride this shift and go with it. And although I've very much enjoyed working from home while my sons were single-digit ages, while my spouse at the time could stay home with them, Um, when going live on Facebook was for fun and not social distancing. When working in your pajamas was a novelty and not a sign of depression or sadness. When going out to grocery shop didn't invoke feelings of anxiety. When social media was a lifeline and a source of friendship and camaraderie and a way to stay connected and not a place for hatefulness or doom scrolling. I really enjoyed those times, but those are shifts that I've seen that I don't like and I don't want to participate in. So the change that I feel happening, and I'm only speaking for myself here, is that I'm ready to people again. I want to participate in the world. I want to network. I want to shake hands. I want to hug if you're into that. Chit chat. I want to make eye contact with other human beings and not with that little circle. So the big announcement for Designs by Little B is a word that we've become really familiar with, I think, since 2020, and that is pivot. I have near 6,000 designs on my website. I have so many designs that people actually complain to me regularly via email that they're tired of scrolling and they're tired of clicking the page numbers. And so with that number of designs in my stock, I will no longer be digitizing every single day of my life. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I've got plenty there. So I will no longer wake up at 6 o'clock every morning and go straight to my computer or straight to the shed. I am actively seeking out opportunities for in-person instruction, sales, stitching opportunities with customers and friends right here in Middle Tennessee, and eventually wherever they'll have me. If you, as an aside, if you own a sewing shop or know someone who does, or know like an educational coordinator, hook me up if they're interested in new classes with a pretty enthusiastic teacher. Shoot me an email if you have a contact of someone who's looking for somebody to teach classes. I've taught many times at conferences. I've assisted in booths for software and embroidery supplies. I have manned my own booth. I've assisted as other digitizers taught classes with their designs. I'm not new to in-person instruction, but I'm still nervous to create an experience with my own designs and under my own business and my own brand. It's one thing to be behind the scenes and help people thread their needles when someone else is doing the instruction. It's another thing to be the whole show and be responsible for everyone's experience. And I'm a person who has always really respected people's time and people's money. And I feel a great responsibility when someone pays me for something. My designs, I want you to get the best quality out of those designs. I want you to get your money's worth. And certainly if you attend an in-person event with me, I want you to walk away feeling like, man, that was a great time. I really got my money's worth. I take that as a big responsibility. So I think it's normal to feel nervous about putting your name on something new. But you got to start somewhere. And so I really believe that I can host a fun experience for customers, especially those who have been with me since I was a bee in a basement. I will still be releasing new designs. I still love to digitize. I just won't be digitizing 10 hours a day. And I'm going to use a little bit of this time to clean up some of my old designs and old listings on my website. You can go back in the recesses of my website, and there are designs that still say in their description, that still say, you can download your purchase after your payment clears through Etsy. And they're not even on Etsy anymore. I've had my own website up and running for 7 years. So my website really needs some TLC, and if I'm going to be sitting behind the computer screen, I could at least clean up some old listing and clean up some old designs, because along with the fact that I never really decided on going to digitize, there was never a point where I felt, okay, I'm ready to digitize and I know everything I need to know. I feel like I've been in a state of learning, which I always will be. I mean, as an embroiderer, you're always learning something new. But some of my older designs don't really match up to the quality that I feel I offer now. So I'll be going back and I'll be cleaning them up and making for a better experience for my customers overall. So with that said, throughout the summer, I'll be featuring some new and some oldie but goodie and new and improved designs on my website that will be either updated at no cost to you, or if I change a lot about it and add different things, they might be considered a new project. And you might even see things that if you've been a customer of mine for years that you've never seen before. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is just showcasing some things as I go along, updating, cleaning up, still digitizing new things, but just not 100 a month. I mean, that's just ridiculous to hold myself to that. So with that said, there's that. I guess that's kind of an announcement. I don't like sitting in front of a computer screen all the time. That's the announcement. But a smaller announcement is that I've already set up a potential class in July with the theme of school bus. We're going to be making the school bus zipper bag, which is a very, very old design that I will be completely overhauling over the next couple of weeks and re-releasing. If you've already bought it, it should update. I'm not going to recharge you for it, but if you don't have it yet, you're going to love the new and improved. It really will be brought up to my quality standards. The hand sanitizer key fob, a lip balm key fob, freestanding lace earrings, those are brand new. And I also will offer additions onto that. If you want another school bus design, they will be offered at a discount on that flash drive that you get with those designs on it. So my plan is to hold that class right here in Middle Tennessee. I have a poll in my Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Designs by Little B group, or you can just look up Designs by Little B and find the group that way. And I have a poll up there to ask you what date in July would be best for you. If you are around the Middle Tennessee area, you've got the choice of the 13th, the 20th, or the 27th of July to vote for that. I also will offer a digital option where I will mail you the kit with everything you need in it, and you will join a Facebook group, our monthly kit stitching Facebook group, and I will do either a live video. I will do a combination of live videos, or for things that take a long time, I will just upload a previously filmed tutorial so that you can participate in person if you can't make it to a live class. So I know it's summertime and everybody's busy with schedules and vacations and family and sports and stuff, so I will offer the virtual option as well. Nancy and Sue and Betty, I love all of your kind comments. Thank you. I hate that my cat was eating a fly while I was trying to be serious. But stuff happens. So secondly, there's the actual announcements are threefold. The second one, I'm putting together an in-person beginner digitizing class for this fall. I'm putting together a full online course with in-depth video tutorials, and I will also be offering one-on-one digitizing instruction on an individual basis. Now, I already had a workbook that I wrote, I think 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I don't know, on beginning digitizing using Stitch Artist. So when I sold that workbook, I said, I'm going to post videos in a group and all this stuff. And I never intended to do an in-depth video tutorial of that workbook. What I meant when I said I'll post videos in the group is like, I'll just send you, I'll just post a little live that says, did you know that this button does this? But after having that workbook available for a handful of years, I really thought, I've learned even more in my own digitizing journey. I've got more I can add to it. I'm going to overhaul that book. I'm going to sell it separately, and I'm going to make in-depth tutorials, which will take me until the fall, for the entire workbook. It will be a whole video digitizing series, which previously I never had time for because I was digitizing 10 hours a day. So, get out. So, that's the second part of that, is that I'm going to do a real in-depth digitizing course, which let's just say I just never had time for it before, and that's one thing that I want to explore with this not digitizing 10 hours a day, is I want to explore that option. So the final announcement, and actually the biggest one, is that I will have my very own booth at the OSQE, that's Original Sewing and Quilting Expo, in Lebanon. That's how we say it. We don't say Lebanon here in Tennessee. We say Lebanon, Tennessee, on October 3rd, 4th, and 5th. This is really in the infant stages of planning. I attended this event last year, and I really got excited about the possibility of having a booth this year. I just didn't know if it was going to be possible. I'm going to put myself out there, and I've applied for a booth. And when I attended last year, I didn't see a single booth that featured work similar to mine. There were very few embroidery booths. I want to say I didn't see any, but I probably saw one or two, but I was just too excited to meet some people that I just didn't notice them. But I definitely did not see any digitizers that featured in the hoop embroidery like I do. None. So you can take, in my mind, I can take that as a negative or as a positive, and I, of course, am going to choose to take it as a positive. And the reason this is so exciting for me is because the last time I had a booth at a show was the year of our Lord 2018. I had a booth at Applique Getaway where I sold stabilizer, vinyl, workbooks, and flash drives. And that was the last time that I had a booth that was all mine, that featured my stuff. And it was also part of a show that was put on by someone who I consider a friend, Lindsay from Lenny Penny. And so this is the first time I'm going to have a real industry, a booth at like a real industry show. And I'm not, hey, Melissa, that chick I know who sells in the hoop embroidery designs. I'm going to be Melissa from Designs by Little B, who can help you learn in the hoop embroidery designs. Like, this is just really exciting because I haven't had a booth in a long time, and I haven't ever had like my own real business, not palling around booth. Like, it's really exciting. So I want you, if you are anywhere near the Middle Tennessee area, Lebanon, Tennessee is north, south, east, like 30 minutes east of Nashville. And I want you to make plans to attend that. Even if you don't care about seeing me, it is a great show. It's really fun to network. If you do quilting and sewing, it's really fun. They do fashion shows, they do lots of giveaways, they do announcements, and there's a quilt show in the back of the auditorium. So make plans to attend that on October 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Lebanon. And come by and see me. And I will, of course, be updating on cool things that I'll have in my booth from now until then. So that's it. I'm not quitting. I'm not selling Designs by Little B. I am not getting rid of my baby. I might get rid of this cat in the floor, though. That's my big announcement. For the first time in darn near a decade, I'm just tired of sitting behind a computer screen. I know that something has to change for me in the way that I work. I have to adapt and evolve to keep my business going and fresh and alive, and in some ways to keep me alive. I am gonna cry. I I am so unbelievably grateful for your continued business over the last 9+ years. Um, but more than that, I'm so thankful for your camaraderie and your friendship and encouragement and patience with me as a human being. This industry is very unique in that we tend to get to know each other in our industry as people and what's going on in our personal lives. And I've experienced absolutely nothing but encouragement and patience and friendship with this community over the past 9 years. And I'm really excited for the next phase of Designs by Little B. And I look forward to seeing you in person at an event or a class or a workshop over the end of this summer and this fall. That's all I got. So that's it. If you have any questions, please join my Facebook group. You can go on, that's where I'm the most active. You can leave a comment under this video, but I might not see it. But I almost always see everything that happens in my group, especially if somebody tags me. It's Designs by Little B. Just look it up on Facebook. And it's a group with about 32,000 members, I think, in it. Just hit join and you'll be in, and you can ask any questions you have. And I will be active today as I come down off of the high of making this video. So as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. And I will see you in the next video, and I'll chat with you in the group. Love you guys. Bye.